Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Petey, and Gomti and I are just admiring this new centerpiece for our living room in our apartment where we stay. She had brought this up to me a while ago, and actually our daughter purchased something which was not wide enough. What you may be familiar with if you've watched a lot of my videos, we had 3 framed wildlife images that were like pounded out of copper, maybe, and they were framed on actual. So this one. HT Enterprises Private Limited, phone 661139, P-Bag 15, Cop G, Salisbury. So this is the information that's on the back of this piece, and it's interesting how the animal skin it's like popped out and it's coming over. But yeah, here's the proud ram and is that a chick? Elk? Gazelle? I don't know.
This one's kind of rough.
So yeah, these were it used to be up on the wall behind me, and this one's kind of fallen apart too. This is the centerpiece, which has these homies down here. One is coming back from the market, got some chronic, some dank, and they're mixing up a special blend of Ricky smokes in here for the rest of the tribe. They're all chilling in their tents, waiting for the smoke sesh to begin. When I was a kid, we lived in River Forest, Illinois, which is really a nice place. Now, my grandma and grandpa lived about a block away. They had a beautiful home. River Forest is a place where it's like the trees, there's sidewalks, okay, and it's kind of like the city, but the houses are nice, and they're older style houses. We had a brick stucco house, kind of an ugly house. But the tree, when you drive down the streets, it's a canopy of trees. There's trees going down both sides of the road. On that piece of lawn, typically in between the sidewalk and the curb, there's trees, not like huge old trees. So this provides shade. So it's like when you're driving in there, it's cool. It's not like hot, like you're not just like all out in the middle of the desert. Anyway, that's where I grew up, River Forest. We moved to a place called Willow Springs when I was 8. And I was not happy about that. And then when we got to Willow Springs, we realized that we had been foolish about that, because there was it was much more less like the city. It was much more like the country, kind of. Like there was a lot of forest preserves and trails, snake hunting, BMX, motocross. This is really a fun place to grow up for a boy. But my grandma's house right on the border of River Forest and Maywood there. My grandma, Agda Lindberg was her name. And in her basement, she had this was like the 3 things up in the basement. And it was decorated nice, like it was like a little tiki lounge down there, and those were the decorations, and I always liked those. And later on, when she passed on, there was some kind of a garage sale or estate sale, and this is one of the things that I ended up getting. And they've always been in the front room, every one of our apartment. It's always the same thing, and now we've got this gaudy thing. So my wife found it, and the thing is, I used to smoke. I was a bad news smoker, and I smoked indoors really bad. So there's nicotine stains on these walls. And when you take the picture off, there'll be a big white square underneath it. So we needed something that was wide enough to cover up all three of where these pictures were. And my daughter had purchased something and given it to my wife for Christmas. There was this massive package. What is that? Oh, it's an art piece of art to hang up on the wall, and didn't fit. So Gomti found this, and I was like, yeah, it does look nice, you know? Now, it was $15 for this piece, and the top of it had some damage, some significant damage on the top. The paint had been all chipped out on the top. So what we did, hey darling, what do you say? Did I earn a cold drink today? Always have to ask. I used a digital camera, took a picture of the top where the damage was, and then we took that digital camera to Walmart, and I went through their poster paints, acrylic. So hopefully that's not going to cause a problem and start chipping off or can you tell that this from how am I going to do this? From this end, from that end, all that blue, dark blue at the top there, coming up to about up in here, I faded it out because it was more purplish over here. This was purple, and then it faded into a lighter blue, but it was all chipped out. And I ended up getting a light blue and a dark blue and mixing them together, and I just kind of kept working at it till I got it to look about what it looks like now, and I don't think it looks bad. It doesn't look great, and up close you can see, but if I didn't tell you, I don't think you guys would notice. Excuse me for just munching away on camera. We were supposed to play today. We were supposed to jam. And Gomti had a Monday. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Gomti had a bad day at work, so. When we were out running around, she came home. I mean, it was like basically the way the story goes. Yesterday we were out. Why were we out?
Speakers.
This Craigslist deal with this guy. That's a whole nother story. I won't waste your time. Well, about a dozen emails and canceling meetups, canceling, and then we finally meet up, and he made me take the speakers apart so he could look at the magnets. Now, initially, I had put a price of $150 on these speakers because they're worth it. There was a set that sold on eBay for $300. I'm charging them $35. He's like, the woofers have been replaced. And I'm like, yeah, but they're good woofers. What's in there is not cheap speakers. They're good. If you've ever taken a bass amp apart and seen the hefty magnet on a proper 15-inch bass speaker, well, these were 8-inch speakers, but they had that same hefty magnet on them. So I met this guy at the police station to do this Craigslist deal. And about an hour of back and forth with this guy, he says, because he was like, oh, I don't waste your time. You're guaranteed I'm going to buy them. I'm going to sell them. I'll refinish them even if the cabinets are bad. I'm like, well, great. Well, he's like, I used to manufacture these speakers in Boston. Oh, really? Did you? How come you're here? How come you don't have a pair? And if you know what they are, the spectacular thing about the Epicure 110C speakers is the tweeters. It's not like, oh man, the woofers, those 8s they're bumping. That's not it at all. It's the high end of the tweeters. But he was like, oh, I would have to buy the drivers to get them all original. Oh, would you? Would you? You couldn't just give me $35 and take these fucking things? Anyway, I was pissed. I told my wife, I said, if this guy says he's not taking them, I'm going to say something to him, because he said in the first email, or no, it's the second email, he said, there was at least a dozen emails. And he was like wanting to do it right away. So I'm like contacting my wife at work. I'm calling her, sending her email, and then right before we're supposed to do the deal, he's like, oh, I gotta cancel. Oh, do you? Then he's like, text me, and in the ad it said email only, evenings after 7 p.m. And he's trying to do deals at 4 o'clock and in the morning, and he's going, text me. So I did. I texted him. Wrong number. So after all of this, the guys, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to say, well, so much for not wasting my time. And she's like, well, yeah, you're going to want to say something, but you're better off just biting your lip. So I did. I didn't say a fucking word. And he was just standing there like I had to say something. He was standing there like with his mouth open. Like, I'm not saying anything to you, dude. So yeah, we left. We went to Goodwill. And he was all like slamming on his brake, like, dude, what are you trying to prove? We were behind him. So she sees this thing in Goodwill. And we measured it with our body. She like stood up to it, it came up to her chin or whatever, and then she figured that it's 60 inches.
I measured it with that thing by the frames. It's whatever.
Oh, there was
a fixed yardstick.
There's a yardstick at Goodwill, so she measured it and it was 60 inches. Came home, measured this, and it was perfect. So she was like, I really want to get that. This is something she's been talking about for what, 4 years?
I just want something different.
But you've wanted something different for 4 years at least. Okay, it's been a long time.
Yes, it's been longer than like a year.
Well, the Christmas gift, the one that didn't fit, wasn't this last Christmas.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short.
Is that such a thing?
An hour later, she
had to go
went in the morning before work. Were you late?
Technically, no. I mean, I was, but wasn't supposed to start until 10 today. So it's a whole crazy. I didn't know that until I got there. I punched in 9:12 or whatever. I got.
So she was.
I was late,
but
I wasn't supposed to be there that time.
So yeah,
as it turned out.
She came home with this thing today. Cranky, not in the mood. So we went up to Walmart. I took those pictures to have the color, so I could color match the. Hey, it's okay, Gomti. Everybody that's ever worked at a job where you've got to deal with people, she deals with people at her job.
And the people weren't even. It was just so much work to do. It wasn't even the people. It was just the work.
So yeah, we went up to Walmart with the digital camera, had the image of the color, and I tried to color match this, which we were at the dollar store and they had some paint, and I dipped my finger in it and smeared it on a receipt. And I'm thinking, then when we get home and I'll look at it, and it'll be like, that's a perfect match. It pretty much was. But I bought 2 containers of paint and mixed the blue to get that. And we patched it up. And then one of the things that's been going on that I've never mentioned on camera, because it's kind of embarrassing, there has been, and this is going back, I want to say 5 years now, at least. You remember when the first African American couple that lived in the B unit moved in?
2018.
Since 2018. That was the first time I got a bug. Because I thought it was a female roach, and I thought these people may have brought it with them. This is my greatest fear, is that we'll get somebody will move in who comes from either the hood or, I mean, we rented an apartment in Willowbrook and there was roaches. We didn't know it when we rented it, and it was a nice place, but we're there a couple weeks and all of a sudden there's a roach, another roach, another roach. So we got out of there, but this is my biggest fear, is that we'll be here minding our own business. Somebody will come from the hood and move their stupid leather sofa or whatever, that's a roach motel, and then infest my apartment. So these people moved in, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here and there's a bug crawling on my arm. Now, do you know what type of bug they are?
I think they are carpet beetles or something. I think they eat textiles, or I don't even know.
That would make sense. It's a carpet beetle. So they're maybe 2 to 3 millimeters. They're small. They look like a ladybug. They look like a dark brown ladybug. And when you squish them, they're not hard. They squish. You can kill them pretty easily, but typically they will be they're always on my hand. I'm sitting here, so they crawl up through the cracks of the couch where I'm sitting, and they crawl on me. And typically in the springtime, it'll be every other day I'll get a bug on me, and I'll kill it and throw it away. So this is not good. Not good. So what I decided today, after Gomti's bad day, was we were going to dig everything out from behind this couch, because
it's like Mary Poppins' bag is behind your couch.
there is a lot of shit jammed back there.
There was more than I thought.
It was dowels, PVC pipe, aluminum pipe, wooden, like the thing in your closet that you hang the clothes on, that large dowel, all kinds of dowels, all kinds of heat shrink tubing.
Those little wood blinds or something?
Some sets of wooden blinds, these slats.
Yeah.
Like about 140 of those. Like, why I need so much? I found them, and I thought I could use these as filler panels for my project, so I just threw them all back there. I cut all the string out and threw them back there. Now,
and we have the string somewhere else.
We have the string?
We did. I mean,
it's nice twine.
But yeah, I'm saying you didn't just throw it away. You keep that where the string goes.
So, yeah. Oh, look, Mr. Bobitas is here in the movie.
Yeah.
Everyone can see my good friend of a chicken. Hi, baby. Hi. Oh, he's my good boy. You know Daddy loves you. Yes, Daddy loves you, Kita. He's a good boy. He's a nice little friend of a chicken Bobby. Do you smell these? These are Daddy's Deutsche Kucha. Daddy's tweets is pretty good. It's of a chip. It's a chippy tweet. I don't think you would like this, Kita. But I do know something you would like. So yeah, we
behind
There's a lot of stuff we garbage picked. There was maybe, I want to say about 30 or 40 computer keyboards.
And how many did you get rid of?
I got rid of 9.
And how many mice?
Computer mice, yeah. They're all back there playing cards like in the picture. The mice.
What picture?
There's a famous, like, picture like this, and it's of dogs playing cards.
Yeah.
And I said mice back there. They said this, but... So, yeah. How long did that take us?
What time is it now?
It's 10.
We probably finished.
It's a quarter to 11.
We probably finished. It was after 9 when I was vacuuming or something, or 10. We were putting that up. I don't know what time we got home from Walmart. You didn't even. Did you even have the headlights on?
No.
So it was probably like 7 or 8, maybe when we got back from Walmart.
Yeah, it was like hours of pulling stuff out, and you can't reach all the way back there. So we have a grabber. So we're like pulling out toilet paper rolls. And it was an old cigarette back there.
A couple of them.
And when we got to the bottom of it, she pulled the couch up and dropped the vacuum back there so she could
Vacuum.
clean it. So I threw away like 90% of the materials. 95%. I've got like one of each size of PVC pipe and some dowels. The bag of mice, which I really should just go through that because I'm sure 90% of it's garbage. This was back when a wireless mouse was like, hoo-hoo, it was a big deal, and they were not cheap when I collected all that stuff. So, yeah, we went through one area in our apartment and cleaned it out, and if you could imagine, we need to do this to the entire place. The entire place needs to be gone through and cleaned out.
Okay, now he's checking it out. Okay, good, as long as he doesn't scratch it.
Here he goes.
It's not soft back there anymore.
Mr. Chicken will beat. It's
Big
not going to be
pillows
nice.
on top of everything.
So, you're getting a good show here.
Keep his butt.
Normally, I would have this probably like,
There he goes. Oh shit.
she thinks he's going to die. Like if he falls off the couch, she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, they're really tough animals. You could hit them with a bat, and they wouldn't phase them.
Okay, that's fixed.
You like my shirt? This is one of those shirts that you get at the flea market. It says Hector, and on the back there's an image of Hector. Apparently Hector was a cocaine dealer who was fairly stern in laying down the law in his kingdom. That he ruled fairly with a bit of magic with his 8-ball cane. Hector. This is my Hector shirt. And my wife put it up on the air conditioner. Like when it gets cold, we'll take an old t-shirt and we'll put it on the air conditioner and then tape around it with duct tape. And that kind of prevents airflow. I'll go on the outside of the air conditioner and I'll put a paper bag and tape around it, and then cardboard and tape around it, so it's double. So between the 3 layers of cardboard, paper bag, and then the insulation of the shirt on the inside, it keeps the cold air from blowing in here during the winter months. When when the heat is on. So I come home and she's like, I did it. This is something I gripe about doing because you got to get up on this table and stand up there and tape this thing, and it kills my back to do. I hate doing it. You got to do it usually it's like in the late fall or early winter, and it's cold. Like I'm sitting here and it's right next to me. It's blowing cold air on my shoulder, and I'm all mad. I got to get up there and do it, so I'm not in a good mood. And then in the spring, I'll be all sweaty and wanting to turn the air on, and I can't because it's all sealed up. So I got to get up there and do it. So it's not a good task. One of those things that I do where when I'm done with it, it'd be really nice if someone said something nice to me about having done it, instead of just getting scolded all the time. You know that you do scold me. I get scolded all the time. All the time. And who's a good boy? Beatty's a good boy. I'm a good boy. I used to be a goof, and I mean, I kind of still am a little bit, but for the most part, I'm a pretty good boy. But yeah, she used my Hector shirt, and it's not so much that it's like that it's kind of hood and like it's just I love this emblem. It's all like he's coming out of a black hole with his 8-ball. I love this shirt. It fits me. It doesn't bite my neck. Okay. And I hate to say it, but what did this look like on Hector? He looks like he doesn't have a neck. And he doesn't have a torso either. It just looks like his belt line has arms, and then there's a head, if you look at the back of the image. So I'm sure this was way too big for Hector. And I get it. That's a hood style. Like, you know, I like my clothes. I don't like tight clothes. My mother-in-law has scolded me numerous occasions because I just don't look good. She does this because my clothes that I buy fit me. They're not 2 sizes too small. My whole life, anytime anyone ever gifted me clothes, it was usually my mom. It was always way too small. And then I would end up giving it to my younger brother. So this became a thing where I started griping about it when I turned like 21. And maybe I do overdo it. I don't know. Do I look like bleh? Am I a big slob?
Your pants need to be tailored to you because of the way you wear them.
My weird body size, yeah.
Shape, not size. Weird body shape. That sounds worse, but no.
So, please do not use my Hector shirt for anything but lovingly placing it into the washer and dryer. Fold it up nice for me. All right, you guys, I kept you a long time on this one. It was just kind of... to be honest with you, normally when I'm on this thing, I'm playing more of a character where the way that I speak is just a little different, you know. And this video, for some reason, maybe because I'm punch drunk, I'm tired. Oh my God, my back is killing me. Whatever reason, I was acting really normally, more naturally in this video. So yeah, if you ever wondered what the phony PD is like versus Leaf, who I really am, that's what you got in this video. So I hope you enjoyed that. We got a new image, and I wanted to make sure that you guys got a good look at that. What do you think? Did I do a pretty good job on the patch up? I think it looks pretty good. As far as these other images, I know I think my sister-in-law had asked about those. This one, that's Sparky the fire dog. He's a Lassie dog. And do you remember where we got that? Dumpster.
Yeah, but it was like, what do you call days in October?
Amnesty Day.
Amnesty Day, yes.
The Amnesty Day is where they let you throw anything out, and you don't have to pay for it. So it's basically it's garbage picking day is what that is. And we found this, just a beautiful picture of this collie. And then this one, I think that was at 63rd.
Somewhere it was in Goodwill. Yeah.
This was at a Goodwill. and it's a family that had multiple cats, images of different cats, and they threw it away. They took it to the resale store. I mean, obviously, when the animals pass, it's so sad to have that laying around.
Well,
I know what that's like.
I think it may have been somebody who passed away. It was their cat and their
Right,
her child
right,
or someone was cleaning
right.
the house and got rid of it.
I know I've had you guys a long time, and I should let you go, but I want to tell one more story. Fat Mike, I was out with this guy, Fat Mike, and he's a Mexican landlord. He owns the building across the street. I had befriended this guy, Jimmy. He ended up ODing. Jimmy's no longer with us. Jimmy was my friend. He was a younger guy. And he showed up when I had thrown a party, which was over. And I was sitting on the lawn. And we had a sound system with a disco ball with some lights shooting at it. So the disco ball was spinning around, making a pattern of lights. And I was sitting out there with a beer and a cigarette, jamming out some Faith No More. And Jimmy walked by with his buddies, and they were like, what's going on? And that was when I met him. And I ended up becoming really good friends with Jimmy. He was a good kid. Just kind of a lazy kid, and he really liked to get high. He was a fiend. After Jimmy and I parted ways, he hooked up with a guy who was into opiates, and Jimmy ended up overdosing. And he's no longer with us. So it's a sad story, but he was my good friend, Lithuanian kid. And he introduced me to his neighbor, which was Fat Mike. Fat Mike owns the apartment building that's kitty corner from me. So I did some work for Fat Mike. He ended up paying me with a moped, which was cool. We had this like 49cc moped that we fixed up, and we got our use out of it. It was my daughter Dolly used to love riding it. Well, it was one of our summertime activities was barbecue and take turns riding the moped around the neighborhood. So both Jimmy and Mike are good friends of mine. R.I.P. Jimmy. Mike, I stopped hanging around with him. He was just a little bit, it was kind of a one-sided friendship, and he did some things that you just don't do when you're friends with somebody. So I kind of cut him loose. In any event, Mike showed up here unannounced. He used to do that all the time. He would just pull in and expect to hang out, me to drop whatever I was doing. And he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing." And he says, "Do you want to go junking?" So I said, "All right, let's go." So I had showed him some of my hot spots, and we went just down the street to this Anchor Rock Industrial Park, which they used to have an arcade, like a pew-pew video game place. They had a heating and cooling place. They had a computer place, Hans System, used computers and parts. A couple of cabinet companies. There was a paper company that had, I got this. This is some of the stock that I got. I still have it. We got a huge stack of this paper that was this size, like a bunch of this. And this is like, it's not like regular binder lined paper. This is thicker. It's almost card stock. So this is what we use for bombs, bill of materials, and writing notes. And I've been using that same paper for many years. And I've been through more than half. I got like about an eighth of what we had left. And I'm like, because I love that paper. So Anchor Rock was the place where we would go and drive through and check the dumpsters with a flashlight and a pair of gloves. And we would get wood. All of that stuff that I pulled out from behind the couch, all the PVC piping, all the aluminum pipe, the metal pipe, all that stuff, fiberglass rods, dowel rods, that all came from Anchor Rock. So, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to go junking? Do you want to take a ride?" And he wouldn't even get out. He would just drive, and I would tell him what's in the car. And I would end up keeping everything. Like I think we found stuff that he wanted, I would let him have it. But he rarely took anything. He was more interested in like an old skill saw or something like that, you know. So we go over there and we're at this cabinet place, and I open up the dumpster and it's full of booze. It's full of liquor bottles, full, like unbelievable amount. And there's mixers, there's wine, there was jugs of wine, there was hard liquor, and a lot of it was not opened. And it looked like it was from the early 80s. Like the decorations, like there was wine coolers, and like the style of the art on the bottles. So he couldn't stop laughing. He was like, "You're going to be drunk," because he didn't drink, and he always teased me because I like to drink beer. So he was like, "You're going to be so wasted. You're going to drink it all in a week." And I didn't. I drank that shit every day, and it was like about a month and a half. But the punchline of the story is that wine was good. There's something to that thing. And I'll tell you what, it was all cheap wine. It was all different kinds of cheap wine, but it all tasted the same because it was so old. And I don't know if this is only what happens with cheap wine, if it develops this taste, but it had a flavor. The alcohol turns into a different thing. I'm telling you, it was unopened. I wish I would have saved some of it because I didn't think. I think what I could have done is like I buy a 4-liter of Carlo Rossi sweet red wine. I wonder if I could have taken a cup of that wine, pour it out, and then taken this stuff and add it to it, if it would within a month turn that wine into that same thing. And then I could just keep going with this process. And like never ending have. I'm sure that can't be done. Because they would do that, they would know about it. But the story, like the punchline of it is, all of this liquor that I got out of this dumpster, and it was a huge amount. It was enough for me to drink to get a really good buzz, like a 12-pack of beer buzz equivalent or more. Because that's what I like to drink back then. Every day for a month and a half. That's how much it was. And I'm sure I got ripped a couple times on it. Like annihilated. Almost throwing up. And I've never had that flavor since then. I'm waiting for the day when I taste that again.
It's those keyboards that are...
Kika, what are you doing?
Oh.
Are you okay, buddy?
I got it right. Oh, you didn't.
What are you doing, your song of the day?
Yeah, I guess the right performer, but...
Oh, Mr. Dickey. So yeah, we got chicken legs, a chicken pack, like $1.29 a pound, and they were kind of anemic, like little chicken legs. I mean, I've seen them where they're like this is a steroid fed, big ass chicken. These are like little. They're a little smaller, and what we're gonna try to do is fry them in oil and then cook them in butter and
the normal
Tabasco sauce, like the normal way that you would prepare buffalo chicken wings. If you ever saw the like Frugal Gourmet recipe on how to do it, where you deep fry them and then put them till they're cooked and then put them in that sauce, which is half butter, half just Louisiana hot sauce, and then serve them like that. You serve them with I like to have French fries. I like to have corn on the cob with it. But the celery sticks and the blue cheese or the ranch for a little dip. I like to eat the chicken, take a bite of that celery with the ranch on it, have a French fry, and then finish it off with the corn. I'm like a multitasking eater. And one of my favorite meals to make at home that's a fast food clone meal is that I really love making hot wings like that. Now, ever since the market like BW2 and people discovered hot wings to be like the hip food, I read that like restaurants, like they can't make enough chicken wings, because, and the restaurants are buying them all up because now nobody cooks anymore. It's all like people just order out, and there's a lot of people that want chicken wings, lip smacking good, you know, suck the juice off your fingers, this type of thing. That I can't get them anymore. We used to pay 59 cents a pound when they were on sale, when it was a good sale. The 99 is all they're worth considering the amount of bone. And they are really good. So we're going to try this deal tonight. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. So I've got to do some research on that. I'm going to let you guys go if anybody's still watching. I appreciate it. Thank you. I love you guys. I really do. You crazy bastards. Take care of yourselves. Try to stay cool. If you have a pet that's big enough for you to do so, hug them. Hug your pet. Give them an extra treat from Petey. Tell them you love them. And peace.